Introduction to the Lean Startup. Eric Ries, a serial entrepreneur, created the Lean Startup movement based on his extensive experience in the tech startup world. He developed a method that focuses on maximizing learning while minimizing wasted resources. The book outlines a systematic and scientific approach to building and managing successful startups, ensuring continuous learning and adaptation. Chapter 1. Start. This chapter defines what a startup is and the extreme uncertainty it faces. The traditional methods of business planning often don't work well for startups because of the unknowns. Instead, the Lean Startup method focuses on experimentation. Rather than assuming you know what your customers want, you should test hypotheses and refine them based on real-world feedback. Introduce the Build, Measure, Learn feedback loop as the foundation of the Lean Startup methodology. It emphasizes the need to create a simple version of a product, get it to customers, measure their reactions, and use that data to improve. Chapter 2. Define. The minimum viable product, MVP, is introduced here. The MVP is the simplest version of a product that allows a team to start the learning process as quickly as possible. It's not about perfection, but about getting real feedback as soon as possible. To develop an MVP, think about the core value of your product. What's the one feature that you can build and test immediately? Ries explains that an MVP can help companies avoid building products that nobody wants. For example, Dropbox famously launched a demo video to explain their service, rather than building the full product right away. This allowed them to test demand before investing in full-scale development. Chapter 3. Learn. This chapter emphasizes the importance of validated learning, which is the process of proving whether a hypothesis about a product is true or false through experimentation. Learning what works and what doesn't through customer feedback is more valuable than assumptions based on intuition or market research. Ries explains how startups often fail because they don't learn fast enough. Instead of spending months perfecting a product based on assumptions, entrepreneurs should focus on getting it into customers' hands quickly and learning through their behavior. Chapter 4. Experiment. Startups need to treat every new idea or assumption as an experiment. These experiments should be testable and produce measurable results. Rather than making large bets on ideas, startups should create small experiments and use the results to guide their next steps. Ries emphasizes that the most successful startups aren't just about building great products, but about building a system for continuous learning and improvement. Chapter 5. Measure. This chapter introduces the concept of innovation accounting, which is a method for measuring progress in a startup. Traditional accounting methods don't work for startups, as they often track profit and revenue, which are irrelevant in the early stages. Instead, startups should measure how much they are learning. Ries describes actionable metrics, which tell you what to do next, versus vanity metrics, which may look good but don't give you insight into what's working or what to change. Successful startups track progress toward goals using clear, actionable data. Chapter 6. Pivot or persevere. At a certain point, every startup will face a critical decision. Should you continue down the current path, persevere, or make a major change in direction, pivot? Ries emphasizes the importance of knowing when to pivot, which involves changing some fundamental aspect of the product or strategy based on what you've learned from customers. This chapter describes different types of pivots, such as zoom-in pivots, focusing on a single feature, or customer segment pivots, changing the target audience. Pivoting is not a sign of failure, but rather a crucial part of the Lean Startup process, where learning drives change. Chapter 7. Batch. Ries advocates for small batch sizes in product development, meaning startups should focus on making small, incremental improvements to their products rather than making large, risky changes all at once. This approach allows teams to iterate quickly, fix mistakes early, and continue learning as they go. Traditional manufacturing practices often focus on efficiency through large batches. In contrast, the lean startup model focuses on small, fast experiments that lead to faster learning and adaptation. Chapter 8. Growth. This chapter focuses on sustainable growth strategies. Ries explains that there are only 3 engines of growth for startups. The sticky engine, focus on customer retention. The viral engine, growth driven by word of mouth and network effects. The paid engine, growth driven by paid advertising and marketing efforts. By identifying which engine drives your growth, you can focus your resources on the right strategies. Chapter 9. Adapt. This chapter deals with the importance of agility and adaptability in a startup. Ries advises companies to create processes that can quickly respond to failures and unexpected challenges. He uses examples of companies that thrived because they learned to embrace failure as part of their path to success. Chapter 10. Innovate. In the final chapter, Ries emphasizes that the lean startup methodology can be applied to companies of all sizes, not just startups. Larger companies can also use the principles of experimentation, innovation accounting, and continuous improvement to stay competitive in changing markets. Conclusion. Conclude with a recap of the key principles from the Lean Startup. Focus on validated learning through experimentation. Use an MVP to test your ideas early and often. Iterate through the build, measure, learn cycle. Make data-driven decisions with actionable metrics. Know when to pivot or persevere based on customer feedback. The Lean Startup isn't just a framework for launching new businesses. It's a mindset that encourages continuous learning, experimentation, and adaptation, all aimed at reducing waste and increasing the likelihood of success. Share your thoughts. How can you apply these principles in your life? Let us know in the comments below. Like and subscribe. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content on strategy and personal development. Stay connected. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss our future videos. If you found this summary helpful and want to dive deeper into this book, you can grab a full copy of the book through the link in the description. It's a wonderful addition to your library collection. Or, if you prefer to listen while you're on the move, you can sign up for a free trial on Amazon Audible and get the audiobook for free. Just click the link in the description.